No, I don't have to be that deep. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Tea Time with Kitty. Giving everyone just a second to get all logged on. I do apologize for the little delay with the weather trying to get back. So much traffic. Mm, Okay. I hope everybody week is going good so far. I know that it's a little rain out and about. But do let me do a few of my birthday shout outs. Today is my uncle's birthday. He's my oldest uncle. Want to say he's turning 73 years today. And he's the oldest male in my bloodline. So I'm praying that the men in my family will continue to increase their life expectancy, and that they will be around and the men can live as long as some of the women, that we can all get to 100 years of age. I've never celebrated family member's 100th birthday, not a actually family member's 100th birthday. So again, happy birthday to all of the February birthdays. I think I left off my little sister who shared a birthday with my goddaughter as well. And just a reminder of those who have celebrated their birthday that you're extra special, especially if your birthday is tomorrow, which is the 29th, because we know leap year only comes every 4 years. So, again, happy birthday to all of the February birthdays. I do have a few things that I'm going to read. Today, you all were supposed to send me something on someone that's like an African American person that's like a hero to you, someone special in your life. And you all were supposed to send that to me. So I'm going to see if I have any. I do know I have one. But if you have something quick or you just want to give a shout out to someone, please do so. So let me start here with what I have. And these are a few quotes by African American persons. Um, so this one is first, and you all can chat if you know who this person may be. Okay. I believe we are here on the planet Earth to live, grow up, and do what we can to make this world a better place for all people to enjoy. Do you know who that quote belongs to? Anyone, anybody? Do you know who that quote belongs to? Okay, I'm going to read it one more time. Hey, sis. I believe we are here on the planet Earth to live, grow up, and do what we can to make this world a better place for all people to enjoy freedom. Do anyone know who quote that is? Okay, that quote belongs to Rosa Parks. Definitely very important um, for African Americans for where we are today. So shout out to Rosa Parks. I have one more that I'm going to read. When you see something that is not right, not fair, not just, you have to speak up. You have to say something. You have to do something. If anyone has ever heard that quote, please drop in the chat who you think that person may be. And I am going to read it one more time in honor of Black History Month for this person. And it's when you see something that is not right, not fair, not just, thank you have to speak up. You have to say something. You have to do something. Do anybody know who that famous quote came from? That famous quote came from John Lewis. John Lewis. Also in a month of African American History, Black History Month, we also want to be mindful to continue to shout out Black love and Black excellence. I went to a play on this past Saturday, and this play was awesome. The play was by Mr. Roosevelt, and the name of the play was Waiting to Excel. I went there with a family member And I seen that some of my friends was in the play as well. And there was a lot of people that I knew from the DMV in general. But this was an awesome play. It had a lot of it was kind of associated with the movie Waiting to Exhale. I think that was a play a while back too, but it also had its own hook on it. Because I guess for copywriting purposes, you can't just act out someone else's movie. So this play was awesome. So definitely shout out to Tiana, shout out to Gogo, shout out to Lisa, and the entire cast. They definitely needed to do a rerun of this. Like this was great writing. It was at the Arc in DC. So of course, they didn't have as many props and all these types of fancy backgrounds and things of that nature. But for what they had, it was an awesome experience. He also stated that he do a lot of movies on Tubi as well. And I know we sometimes downplay Tubi, and we also sometimes downplay Freebie and all of those types of things. But keep in mind, African American people, that we had to start somewhere. If you watch Maxine's Baby, which is a Tyler Perry documentary, you will see that we all have to start somewhere. So you can see talent, even if it's not this whole big experience with all these things going on, and all these big advertisements and all those types of things. Everybody don't start there. Most people don't start there, right? And speaking of Maxine's Baby, the one thing that stood, it was two things that stood out the most to me. And if you all haven't seen that, please try to go and see Tyler Perry's um, Maxine's Baby. Please try and go see that. It's very interesting. And I think I watched it on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. But you can just have me chat me and have me check and make sure. But do understand that the two of the things that stood out the most to me was one, he lost his mom, and the size of her tombstone. I mean, probably if you even Google Tyler Perry's mom, uh, Tyler Perry's mom's, what do they call them? A plaque? I think they sometimes call them a plaque. I don't know if they still say tombstone. But if you Google it, I'm pretty sure you will see it. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Another thing was the shout out that he gave to Sidney Poitier, just acknowledging the fact that there was times where he was the only black person in movies, right? And he just gave him just a huge shout out because he definitely paved the way for black actors, where he took us from where he started to where he is now. And if you go to the Bahamas, they also has a bridge that kind of has Sidney Poitier names on it. Maybe the Sidney Poitier Bridge. I'm not totally sure, but they also has a whole carpet rolled out for him and acknowledge him as well. So I know that's one of the persons that I definitely have on my list to do a little bit more research on, because sometimes we stay so centered to certain African Americans from way back when. And although we appreciate them, we do need to look at people who also made history and is still making history today. So I do have something from someone, and I'm gonna get ready to read it. And it says, let's see, my third grade teacher, Miss Malone, one my third grade teacher, Miss Malone, and my fourth grade teacher, Miss Lai. They both were instrumental in providing the educational nurturing and the encouragement I needed to be all I can be academically. So someone wants to shout out their third grade teacher, Miss Malone, and their fourth grade teacher, Miss Lai, for people that's important and the African American History Month. So I have someone that I want to shout out as well. And I hope that we are jotting down at least the names, if not sending me a text message real quick, so that we can constantly shout out these persons who have made a way for us. So my person today is Miss Brenda Jones. Miss Brenda Jones was the director of Parkland Community Center for many years. It's the community center, and love you, the community center in which myself and my brothers grew up in. Parkland Community Service, Parkland Community Center in Southeast Washington, D.C. This young lady gave to us effortlessly. I mean, like we had a rec center that we could go to. We had field trips that we probably wouldn't have normally went on. My brother and them even did ski trips with them, camping trips with them. And to add on to Miss Jones, and there were several others that I can't remember their names, but it was also a male, two male presence. But one, I call him Uncle Smith, and he also worked at the Parkland Community Center. And even with us being bad, rude, a little disrespectful, had a lot of maturing to do. They supported us so much and never gave up on us. So I definitely want to shout out Miss Brenda Jones, and I want to shout out Mr. Charles Smith. Mr. Charles Smith, after I grew up and I was all rough around the edges and one of the roughers, and he used to try to talk to me all the time. When I came to work at DHS in 2006, he was working there. And I had kind of settled down a little bit, wasn't fighting as much, wasn't all over the place, wasn't as grown, small mouth. I was an adult, so I was growing into myself, a young adult, when we rekindled again, because I probably hadn't seen him since I was 18. And the next time I seen him, I probably was early 30s, right? And he was just admired so much how I had grown and how I had developed into this young woman. And as I embarked on my career with DHS, and as I was elevated through or promoted to positions, he even reached out after he was retired when I got my last position and said, "Hey, I heard you got. I'm so proud of you. I knew you can do it." And to this day, that really touches my heart. That you really had people in your corner rooting for you when you don't even know to root for yourself. So I definitely want to give a shout out to them. They definitely have made history. I still stay in contact with a lot of our Parkland family. And a lot of people are doing a lot of great things with themselves. Hey, Shamika, good afternoon. Are doing a lot of great things with themselves. So shout out to Brenda Jones and Charles Smith with the Parkland Community Service Center, the community service that watched me and my brothers grow up into adulthood. And I am just truly appreciative. And I think that it's so important that we acknowledge those who have made a difference in our life. Anybody else, even if you can't don't have you not that fast typing, you can't get a whole chat of how that person made made a difference in your life. You may just want to drop a name. Who is that person? Elementary school teacher. Oh my God, Miss Jefferson. I will never forget the sweetest, kindest. Miss Williams, the toughest sixth grade teacher at Mildred Green Elementary School, but was all in love. Do anybody else have that person? And we're not talking about mom or dad. We're talking about people that did not have to. Miss Howard, my 4-H club um, team leader. Anybody else? Has there been an African American person, male or female, that just filled a void in your life and you never got a chance to thank them? If you can drop their name in a chat right now so that we can just shout them out and just recognize them in the month of African American. And it's so important that no matter how little the deed look, it's so important that we recognize one another and let no one else go unnoticed. Is there anyone else that has that person that means it all to them? Anyone else? Also, make sure that we're being mindful to drop in the chat so that we can also shout out anyone, any black love, shout out the person that you love. If you are married and you have a husband or a wife and you're over the 1 year mark, if you're over the 5 year mark, if you're over the 10 year mark, please shout those persons out because we all know that relationships are not easy. They are not easy at all. And to keep them together requires a lot of black excellence. It requires a lot of black excellence. Anyone else that has anything else that we may be missing, anyone else that wants to give out anything else for Black History Month. They said, do not let the money get away from you without doing something special for yourself or for an African American person who's special to you. Anyone else? I don't want to miss anyone else. Please chime in if you can, and let us know how someone has affected your life in a positive way or gave you some form of encouragement. Or maybe you just want to shout out someone that has made your companionship pure happiness. So at this time, please acknowledge those persons. Going to give you just a second. So I did read the third grade teacher and the fourth grade teacher. I did read that the person is responding back to make sure I did. So maybe they didn't hear it, so I'll read it again. My third grade teacher, Miss Malone, and my fourth grade teacher, Miss Sly. They were both instrumental in providing the nurturing educational the educational nurturing and encouragement needed to be all I can be academically. So I wanted to make sure that person didn't get to hear this, and just chimed in. So I wanted to make sure, is there anyone else who have helped you pave the way to get where you are? Like I am constantly recognizing people, so I can go on and on and on, because even if you may have been someone that told me no or didn't do something, that also may have made me drive a little harder to get to where I am today. Anyone else, you may be an African American person and have your own small business, and we want to give your business a shout out. Please feel free to do so. Anyone else? I just want to check the phone one more time to make sure that we don't have any text. And then if no one else have anything, I have a few more things that I need to share before we wrap up tea time today. So 1 second. See what else I have. I have plenty. I wanted you all to go first, but you all are being shy. So I have plenty. See. Okay. Here's another one that I have. You're not to be so blind with patriotism that you can't face reality. Wrong is wrong, no matter who does it or says it. Do anyone know who that quote is from? You're not to be so blind with patriotism that you can't face reality. Wrong is wrong, no matter who does it or says it. Does anybody know who that quote came from? And that quote came from the great Malcolm X. Okay, so someone else chimed in. My kindergarten teacher, Miss Johnson. Can you text if you don't want to put in the chat, and I can come back to it? Text my phone with what made that teacher special. What made that teacher, kindergarten teacher, Miss Johnson, stand out? Let me see, and I'll get one more for you all while we're waiting for that to come in. Hi. Rockwell. Hello, hello. Okay, so we have another one. Won't it be wonderful when Black history and Native American history, Jewish history, and all of U.S. history is taught from one book, just U.S. history? And that came from Maya Angelou. From Maya Angelou. And we're going to get, well, look, I guess there's no way around it. So, because we have Martin Luther King here. Okay, so we can't have Black History Month and leave out the great Dr. Martin Luther King. So I'm going to end with this one here. Oh, you can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay, great, great, great. Okay. So we can't end Black History Month without the great Martin Luther King. And it reads, love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy to a friend. And just to add an additional twist on that, or to turn an enemy into a footstool. So, in this African History Month, as it comes to a close, Black History Month, continue to be the great person that you can. If you are a parent, know that you are raising Black history. Be mindful of how you treat your children. Be mindful of how you treat yourself as well as others. Because when you become great, people will always remember not just what you said, but how you make them feel. As always, thank you all so much, so much, so much for having tea time with me again today. And I look forward to seeing you next month in the month of March. Have a great day.